Now streaming live. Cool. All right. Welcome, everybody. If there's anyone in here. Going live. We'll just take a moment. Oh, hey, Willow. How are you, hon? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Glad you're in here because I have an announcement for the Patreon people. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We'll just give it a few more minutes. We got 5 in here. Cool. So if you're in here, say hello. I've got a little update, some things going on. I want to let everyone know too that the basis of this collective field is based upon freedom, free will, autonomy, and sovereignty. Let me know how the connection is because, hey, Peter, let me know how the connection is because I'm in a motel, obviously, and I don't know how the Wi-Fi is. So can you guys hear me okay? You want to go ahead and tap in the chat, let me know. And I just want to let you guys also know too that I'm always constantly doing energy work, even in my videos when I'm going live like this. So if you do not consent to energy work occurring or anchoring codes, please, by all means, just to yourself, say I don't consent and you will not receive it. So I just wanted to remind everyone. Connection's good. Thank you, Willow. All right, so obviously I've made it into a motel for a little while, at least for tonight, as I'm transitioning into a new pathway, moving through pathways, timelines, whatever we want to call it, into a new journey. So I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about what's going on. So the first thing is that I'm holding a solstice event. So as we know, let me see, I have the dates here. I'm holding a solstice event to, and it's going to be, we're going to be planting seeds. So we're going to use the solstice passage. So solstice, as we know, is on June 20th. This event will be held on June 21st. So the passageway is open until the 22nd. We're going to be starting preparations tomorrow for solstice. And it officially opens on the 18th. So if you're feeling the ramp up in energies, this is what's occurring. On the 21st, though, I'll be doing a live event, working with the portal, the passageway to assist in, we're going to be working with the light body, we're going to be anchoring codes, and we're also going to be seeding. Okay, so a lot of this time, these passageways is what are we going to seed for the coming year? And so for those of us that are in conscious creator roles, whether we have collective visions or personal visions that we want to seed, we'll work with the energies of aligning our pathways to the organic new earth trajectory. And we'll be working with seeding for being able to receive through January, February, and March. So a lot of this is if you're, I don't really live in the whole new year thing, but this is really going to be planting seeds for our new year, but also new earth creations, right? Because right now, the messages I've been getting have been to start getting excited, to really start getting excited for what is to come, right? With new earth creations. What are we embodying? What are we calling forward as a collective experience? What are we calling forward as a personal experience? There is a big ramp up and a calling forth of caregiving roles. Okay, and I want to talk about this right now. Our caregiving roles. So a lot of us, as we're aligning our lives to full-time service on Gaia, full-time service to humanity, it really is important for all of us to align our entire lives to that reality. And why do I state this? Because what occurs is we find that there's a lot of people, and even myself, I went through this, where we show up in service, we show up as an aspect, the soul, the higher self, the master, in service roles. But then when we're offline, we live a completely different reality at times, or we make choices in our reality that aren't highest aligned, that aren't the purest of intentions. And what happens is this starts to bleed through into our caregiving roles, and it bleeds through into our realities and the collective realities that we are all creating in every now moment. And that's the reminder here. That was what was coming forward to speak on in regards to this, is we are all consciously creating collective realities in every now moment. And this is why moments like this, when we're going through choice point, is making sure we're aligning to the highest, because it's not only for ourselves, but it's for the collective of community as well. So it's an opportunity to review and to reflect, what narratives am I playing in, right? What storylines am I still keeping alive? Especially as we're embodying new aspects. So as we're embodying different aspects, because there's so much that's going on right now with this, as we're embodying new aspects, it's important for us to not attach to the storyline. So it's to receive the aspect and then to get out of the story, essentially. Let's not anchor into the imprints. Let's not anchor into the storyline because of what it can keep consciously creating in our reality, especially with collective timelines. You know, through this huge dismantling that is occurring right now, there's a lot of storylines that are going. And as a result, there's programming, there's purification of the physical body. There's so much that unfolds as a result of this. And it's important that while we are embodying these different soul aspects for all of us, that we do not anchor into the storyline, okay? So as we are embodying Christ consciousness, we're embodying pagan lines, Norse lines, different lines like that, elemental lines, galactic lines, especially the galactic lines, is to make sure that we are detaching from the story and clearing out the story. So what occurs when we embody an aspect is we embody the aspect in our physical body. And then what happens is we begin to go through a process of clearing the density from our physical form. So you can think of the aspect as light, pure light. And as it anchors into our form, it will begin to touch on places within ourselves that hold the density within our physical body. And then we start to release it at a cellular level, physical level. And this is where we begin to anchor it. Okay. So yeah, Lori, stay neutral. You see, here's the thing about neutrality though, okay, is that a lot of people, so with neutrality is being able to hold the witnessing of what's occurring, but we want to make sure that we're releasing the emotion, right? So we want to make sure that we're not suppressing the emotion associated with the aspect. So I've had aspects come through. Should I share this story? Okay. So I had an oversoul aspect that came through. And when it came through, I had a bunch of guides come up and they were like, okay, Corey, easy. Like when this aspect came through, it was kind of like, listen, you need to chill. Don't get too angry. You know, they kind of like, there was a warning tag associated with this aspect. And when it came online, it was like, you know, romping and roaring, stomping its feet, very powerful, very powerful. But as a result I had to go through a process of clearing all the distortion with that aspect to fully embody it, right? So for me, as much as I held neutrality, right, is to make sure that if you're hold neutrality, of course, don't get attached to the storyline, because a lot of people will be like, I am Thor, or I am Jesus Christ, or I am Mother Mary. And then what happens is they call in that name, and then they call in the storyline associated with that name, and they can get stuck in the looping pattern of the pathway. So remember, we're here to be the higher self. And as a part of being the higher self here and now, as we embody the aspect, we detach from the storyline, and we walk forward with the gifts that aspect has. So we go through the clearing of the past life karma. We go through all the pathways that need to clear, timelines, soul imprints, all the contracts, agreements, all that stuff. And that's a process that takes time as it comes in. So yes, we can stay neutral, but also don't judge yourself if you feel an emotion associated to it. Because especially when we're embodying like a very powerful aspect, something with a lot of masculine energy and a lot of power, that power is a good thing to have. There's nothing wrong inherently with power, but what we've seen in the collective distortion that's been going on, and we're seeing it right now, is all the masculine distortions. I mean, we're seeing distortions across the board. So we're going to see the masculine distortions, but we're also going to see the power distortions. So the important thing for all of us when we're embodying a powerful aspect like that is to make sure that we are using that power in some way, shape, or form. It's how we clear pathways, right? So when we're clearing timelines, power and love, and holding those as much as we can to the greatest level and greatest degree that we can hold it within our body, it is what is going to assist in knocking off the polarity or the distortion that's associated with that soul aspect. So, you know, right now there's a lot of new aspects coming online, and there's a lot of people that are moving in the dance of the different aspects as they're coming through. So I'm noticing that some people are going that have never gone galactic are going really galactic. Some people that have never gone like super magic are going magic. Some people are, it's varied across the board as we're embodying different aspects. And it's important because there's sacred gifts and there's sacred elements that we're activating in the alchemy of that aspect that need to come forward and through for our journey ahead, right? So especially right now, we are in a process of calling forward those new earth build outs. Because once again, as things start to crumble, some of us step up in roles to begin the process of building out a lot of these new earth foundations. It's more than just the energetics of this. And now it's about walking forward, grounding it into reality, and beginning to take the action steps towards following our soul vision and our collective vision, right? So right now is like, for me, there's been these experiences and pathways that I've been unfolding in my life for years, right? For years. And it's something that I've kept to myself, that we've been seeding and working on. And right now it's just, the biggest call has been get excited. Just get excited that it's coming forward. It's here now, it's available, and beginning to ramp up that energetics into the pathway to begin calling that forward. Because for me, especially with the humanitarian efforts, it's really important in my life. And I know it's important for the collective role. And so for all of us, it's to begin getting excited about our creations again, because it's going to assist while all this stuff over here is continually going. We're beginning to build up the crystalline towers and the crystalline networks of the new earth build outs, and beginning to step more into the new earth support networks. Okay. So new earth support networks. I've talked about this a few times. And as we're transitioning into those new earth support networks, I want to remind everyone that you're fully supported in that network, but there's a lot of tests on the journey that occur as a result of us anchoring into a new earth support network. So when we're beginning to activate and work with that 5D level of support and higher, is that there's kind of like a stretch that occurs, a stretch, and then also a dissolve of everything old within our reality that we need to let go of in order to anchor the new. And for some of us, that means literally having to get rid of everything out of our lives and walk forward into new earth with very bare minimum stuff. Because as a result, we're clearing out the identification with exterior. We're clearing out the identification. The ego identity of certain businesses and certain things like that. Because even with this, right, in these roles, we can begin to, the human ego evolves with the soul, right? And Alan Watts talks about this a lot. There's a little lecture he has where he talks about the evolving ego in ascension. And as we awaken, the ego awakens as well. And so there's a lot of identity that creates an attachment to certain roles and attachments to certain beliefs of what we are at a human level, but also what we do on the spiritual journey. And it's an important part of collapsing all of those identifications and beginning to allow ourselves to be born anew, right? It's a lot of that Phoenix rising energy. It's just allowing the shedding of all layers to allow ourselves to be supported by a new network. But as a result of that new network, we have to let go of a lot of different things. And just know that if you're being called to transition into that newer support network, or you're feeling that, right? Like all of a sudden, this is what happens as a result of when we start to anchor into a new network or into a new collective, is we start wanting to let go of things, right? We start wanting to gift out a lot more. It happens a lot. You might be on just fumes and you're asked to give it all away. It's different for every individual, and it depends upon the supporter role and what your soul is calling forward in the networks that you're working with. But it's something I want people to be aware of, right? Because it's something that occurs when we're transitioning into a new support network. And as a result, our roles shift and change. Right now, there's a lot of people that are taking a step back from their caregiving roles, and there's new people that are stepping up. It's an evolution that occurs. And so there's some people that are stepping down from service roles, and some people stepping up, and some people shifting and changing. And a part of our multidimensional creations here and now is to make sure that we are weaving with that multidimensional thread. So some days, especially for myself, I know that right now there's a lot more gatekeeping and grid keeping that I need to do, which means that I can't always just show up online or do sessions. Sometimes my work is Gaian focused, sometimes it's gate focused, sometimes it's code focused, sometimes it's humanitarian focused. Some days it's showing up live, some days it's doing events. And a part of that is we've got this, I've talked about it before, this smorgasbord of things to do. And we just tune into the higher self and see what's highest aligned in this now moment to do, right? And this is important for right now, especially while we're going through choice point. So we're still in that choice point, we're still in that test, we're still in that review as we're creating our own individual and collective timelines. So to make sure that when we are doing things, that we are tuning in and going, is this the highest, right? What is the highest aligned task for the day? And so something that I do for myself is every morning I wake up and the first thing I do is I show gratitude to my universe. And then I tune. I make sure that I connect to the higher self. I connect to the light body. I do what I can to get my light online. And then I call in my highest aligned task for that day. And that's what starts the momentum of the journey of staying highest aligned, right? And we have to learn, for all of us, to not fix to anything as this occurs. So, for me, I've been told, I talked about this in the last live stream. Some days I'm told, oh, you're not supposed to do this for this amount of time, or and then the next day it shifts and changes because there's a lot of spikes in frequencies and shifts that occur, especially as we're weaving, right? We're constantly weaving in and out of quantum realities and different levels of consciousness. We have service roles that exist on every level of consciousness, right? So when we have a 3D role, we have a 4D role, 5D, on up the ladder, right? Depending on the vibrational bandwidth we hold, that we have to all shift to. So what's happening is, as there are some roles, people that are stepping down and evolving their service roles, there's other people that are evolving and stepping in the higher service roles too. There's some people that are going to start waking up to their grid keeping abilities and their grid working abilities, their gatekeeping abilities, their code keeping abilities. And sometimes those service roles are literally stay in bed. And it really can feel uncomfortable to the human, right? Especially if we're holding masculine distortions where we're not allowed to just rest and be. And we still have cultural templates that tell us that the only way we can receive is by showing up online. It's one of those that we all weave in and out of as we're discovering the service roles and how they work. But right now, there's people that are being called to step forward into those new pathways and those new service roles because we need it, right? So it's like everyone serves their role. And sometimes, even this, because this was coming up earlier, is being a mom is a service role. Being a family member is a service role to New Earth. It's not always and I see this a lot with people where they have resistance. They're like, oh, I'm trying to start my business and I'm, trying to do this, but like I'm full-time mom and I got babies. And it's like, sometimes a lot of us surrendering to our role too is making sure that we are honoring what our role is and actually finding value in that, right? Sometimes my role has been to go to the park and sit there and read a book, right? Because there's something I needed to do energetically, or I was supposed to be an angel for someone. That happens a lot, where I get led to a certain space and place, and my role there is to give someone money, or it's to go gift someone something, or to have a conversation, or to meet an individual, or to share code, or to connect to a tree, or to pick up a rock, or to watch the sunset. And that's a very important service role. So we cannot downplay what our role is in caregiving and in service structures. Because all of it serves the one, and all of it serves a purpose, even if you don't feel like it does at that point in time, right? So it's important to not downplay what our service roles are. And I know that there's some people that are still in 9-to-5 jobs, right? And they're like, oh gosh, I want that freedom and I want that choice. Well, you might be the shift in that company that company needs, right? You might be the light that is recoding that reality so we can begin to stretch that out into the quantum field, and we can have new supports, right? We can have different companies that are supporting more humanitarian efforts, right? You might be the person that's there, that's bringing that house down in a beautiful way, like not in some, I'm a destroyer, and we're not playing into the whole Wreck-It Ralph scenario, right? Like if anyone's been Wreck-It Ralph, how cumbersome and stressful that journey can be. But you're there to be the shift and the change, right? But it's also making sure that we are aligning with that highest optimal pathway, because there might be a new pathway that's opened up for you here and now. And it's about us being able to face our fears, being able to walk through the perceptions of what we're feeling that is keeping us stuck, trapped, limited, tiny, small. It's time for us to play big, and not play big egoic, but it's time to step forward into the light of all that we are, and knowing that our light is capable of doing so much in this world. But it takes all of us individually making that effort to do that. This morning, I saw something occurring online because of the lines I'm about to work and where I'm traveling to. I saw that there was some homeless stuff going on, right? And the one thing I saw is that, us as humanity can all support humanity's transition into ascension by all of us playing our role. So it doesn't have to just be on the weight and shoulders of the 1%, or this person has money, or we all can do something for humanity here and now to assist in elevating and bringing more compassion to the world. How do we do that? As a result of the 3D systems, all of us have been affected by something, right? Like, so for myself, homelessness, drug abuse, behavioral health, what else? So many other things. And so as a result, I have a focus and a solution. And the solution might not be that I'm there to save or to fix the problem, but I can be a part of the solution by going in and just showing a kind, caring heart and being compassionate to that section of individuals, or to that culture, or to that, to whatever it might be, right? Whatever it might be. All of us have been affected by the old world systems. And if we tune in and go, what has affected me from the old world systems? Not to play into the old storyline, but just to become aware of what it has affected us. Has it been physical health, right? Has there been food issues? Has there been animal issues that you've seen? And then we can start to look at, okay, how can I begin to support the shift in this? Sometimes, like for me, it's been just go buy someone lunch, right? Go make a couple sandwiches and put them in a paper bag and go hand them out on the street, right? Go donate socks to someone. Just go ask how someone's day is doing. Go support a local business. That was actually something I did this morning. It was 5 minutes in this humanitarian role, right? It was literally go into a local business, a local donut shop, go buy a donut, and go tip her, right? Because something that said her business is really slow right now. Just go in there, buy a donut, buy some coffee, and go give her a tip. And that's what my role was, you know, and I'm not saying this is like some like proud egoic thing. It's just to let you guys know and peer into a little bit that the service role, we can live in this compassionate role 24/7. And that's where we start to find the dissolve of the corrupted systems in the lightworker roles, because there's a lot of corrupted lightworker stuff that's clearing right now. And as a result, it's because people are out of alignment into their reality. They wear one hat when they show up, and then when they get offline, they turn into a whole nother person. And as a result, that creates a karmic or a corrupted timeline that has to clear. And we find this incongruency. And this is where we see a lot of closed door secrets, sweep it under the rug, you know, don't ask, don't tell, all of these different things that create these corrupted teacher lines that have really been creating so much distortion in all of us as way showers and guides, as in teachers. And it's very prevalent right now, and it's got to go, right? Because there's a lot associated with that. And I'm not being called to really share about that right now until it unfolds more. So what else? So yeah, stepping out to support the collective. Right now, the collective needs support. It needs support. So whether that be energetic support, a kind, compassionate, you know, ear, right? Going out and just saying hi. Anyone manifesting lately? What do you mean by manifesting lately? So yeah, stepping out to support the collective, it's one of those things that we all can do in whether it's in a big way or a small way right now. And people need our help. So right now what's going on too is yesterday we hit KP5. There was some solar flares and we were having some geomagnetic activity. And as a result, with the work that's going on, people's sensitivity is increasing. So as our energy systems are being restructured and we're becoming more sensitive, there's going to be a group of collectives that are becoming more sensitive too, and it's assisting them in discernment. It's helping them a lot in discernment. Okay. So as a result of this, right, there are going to be people that are going to start having questions about what's going on, right? And that's why those of us that are aware of energy, right, whether you're an energy practitioner or whether you're aware, is that this sacred knowledge we hold in the awareness of all the tools that we've been building up are going to be coming into use right here, right now. Like everything that you know within can do something to assist. And so right now, as our sensitivity is, increasing right now, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to start waking up and they're going to start using their tools of discernment more. And so these are just things to be aware of, because as the sensitivity increases, it starts to create a little bit more of emotional sensitivity too. And this is not coming from the space of fear, right? This is coming from just a neutral stance of witnessing that this is what's occurring. And there are people that are going to have questions, and we need people to support them, right? I know when I've gone through my big awakenings and catalytic moments, just having a safe place and someone to talk to is the most beneficial thing for me. And people in the collective need that support right now, so they don't feel like they're losing their SHIT. And so that's something just to make sure we're holding that compassion and that love in our day to day, and keeping that alignment as much as we can. And a part of that too is making sure we're taking care of ourselves, right? So another big service thing is sometimes my number one service role is to just take care of my light body, take care of my energy, restructure my life, go have something good to eat. When we're stepping full time into caregiving roles, we're not playing into the distortions of sacrifice or martyrdom or putting ourselves last and putting everyone first, right? Like, we're making sure that we're bringing everything into balance. And there's a way of structuring our lives into this balance where we can take care of ourselves, and then we can show up and take care of others as well. So wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. And yes, so right now there is rapid manifestation, Jen. Seeing thoughts turn to things in our daily realities, good, bad, big, small. Yes, and this is a part of the creator codes. There's been a lot of anchoring of creator codes, and a lot of people are waking up to the fact that they're consciously creating their reality in every now moment. And so that's been something that I've been seeing a lot, and really being mindful of the choice of thoughts, the choice of belief systems, and making sure that I'm always calling forward new. And here's another thing that I do too, is I will wake up. I'll wake up in the morning, and if the thoughts are flooding, I just go, universe, give me another reality, right? And I go back to sleep, and I wake up, and I restructure, and reminding myself that I'm in a new reality. Because sometimes as we're clearing the old out of our physical body, we're clearing all this stuff out. We can have moments where we're, oh no, I'm falling forward this experience again. And you can go, you know what? In every now moment, I'm in a new dimension. In every now moment, I'm in a new reality. I can shift this out consciously, right? Bring me new, universe, bring me new right here and now. Nope. Don't like the day? Cool. Go reset. Go lay down. Close your eyes for 5 minutes. Breathe into the heart. Open up the heart and just command it. I'm in a new reality now. I'm in an awesome, beautiful, joyous reality, and I'm going to enjoy my day. Universe, show me the magic. And then go outside and go re-encounter the reality. I have to do that a lot. Some days I wake up and I'm going and I go, whoa, I'm stuck in a program. I didn't know I was stuck in a program. Okay, time to retreat. Go within, clear all the resistance, let go, ask for a new reality. Sometimes we fall asleep, sometimes we don't. But that moment that we close our eyes and we go within, we can amplify that new reality within us, right? So if we want more peace, we want more harmony, we want more softness, we want more beauty, we want more magic, we want more compassion, cool. Those all exist within us as frequencies, and we can open them up here and now, breathe them in, expand them out into the reality, and just give it a few moments and go face a new reality here and now. Yes. Yes. And see, that's the thing, is there's right now the gifting realms are opening up for a lot of people. And noting that when it comes to manifestations, because the way Gaia works and the way the universe works is it's not always going to show up in money, it's gifts, right? It's gifts from the universe. I've done this. I love working with the gifting realms, and that's a lot of magic that occurs, is making sure we're keeping that flow moving, right? Supporting New Earth people has been a big one for me. You know, and a part of supporting New Earth too is supporting humanity. And so sometimes it's to go, you know, donate to someone, or it's to donate to this teacher, to donate to this group. And sometimes it's to go out to give money to people that need it, to buy groceries, to go be an angel. That's like my favorite thing to do, is to just go be an angel in the world. And that's a good way of supporting New Earth, is by supporting humanity, right? Like, and a part of that is to go care for people that some people might not care of, or only certain groups do. And that's where a lot of the ground crew goes in, and we go in and we show that support, right? And it can be tough to see. It can be tough to see, tough to witness, tough to feel, tough to hear the stories, but we hold a solution. And if you're called there for a reason, because you hold the solution. Hello, Lobi, and hello, Dorothy. Hello, everyone, for coming in. So yeah, right now there's a lot going on. Let's see, I have dates up. What can I talk about with the dates? Okay, so there's a lot of solar activity occurring here, right? So I know tonight I'm working solar gates, and there's been an increase in gamma frequencies. And I want to talk about this because last night I noticed my body was like, go, and my mind was like, sleep. And it was something that occurred because last night we hit KP5 at about, it was 3 p.m. Pacific. And it was really hard to get to sleep. And it's like the mind wanted to sleep, but the body wanted to go. And it's one of those things to bring into alignment, just knowing, there's a process, right? It's a process. Like for myself, I started to think, oh no, what can I take to get the body to calm down? And I recognized that that's what my body needed to exert energy. It needed to go on walks. So I walked laps around the motel. I started doing grid work. I started just kind of playing with my guidance and doing what I could. I did a lot of yoga stretching. And then when I was ready, my body collapsed. And so right now, if you're finding that there's a disconnect between the body and the mind, like the mind is going and the body is down, or the body wants to go and the mind is down, that's really, it's a funny part of the process to be in, because I felt like I was walking around like a zombie. Like my mind was just done. My eyes were beet red, but my body was go. And that was a result of the energetics yesterday. And so with the increase in gamma frequencies, you might feel like an Energizer bunny on crack. That's what Lisa says is Energizer bunny on crack. And that's what I feel like. It's just like, let's just go. So then for us, it's if you hit that gamma and you've got all that energy, what can we do with that energy, right? Like, do we need to go run around the block? Can we go out and do stuff? And it's kind of difficult when it happens at 2 or 3 in the morning. But it's such beautiful energy to get a lot of linear work done. It's good for, if you got a business, to start typing things out and getting your done, helping out people, cleaning. There's been a lot of energy of like cleaning occurring a lot, making sure we're organizing our environments, keeping our rooms nice. It's really important for our grid working of our field to keep our area clean, because everything corresponds to a crystalline grid structure within our field, and all those things out of alignment can throw our field out of alignment, and it can start to mess things up. That's why when I came into this motel room, I was like, oh my gosh, open, clear energy. And yeah, I had to clear some things out because there's definitely distortion on the bed, and there's distortion in the corners of the room, but we clear it out. So it's really important to use this energy, and that's a part of our alchemy, right? Part of the alchemy codes is how can I use this energy, and how can I use it, in the highest alignment to shift out energy or to create something, right? Like play with your alchemy, play with your alchemy. These tasks, the sacred tasks that we have, don't have to be daunting. Right? They don't have to be daunting, and it doesn't have to be work. It can be play, right? But we have to activate that joy frequency and the play within as we're going about our sacred tasks, right? So it's a lot of learning how we navigate, but how we can learn to restructure our lives in the frequency of play and joy while we're moving through. I am still in Arizona, but I'm traveling. Yes. Dancing at 3 a.m. Yep. Sleep's been minimal lately, and that's okay. So when we're running off pure ether, we don't need a lot of sleep, like, because we sleep to wake up, right? So when we sleep, what happens is our consciousness expands into all realms and into all dimensions, or we do dream work. Like I was just talking to Lo B about dream work about this. Yeah, and it should be fun too. You're right, and I'm going to talk about that actually a little bit about it should be fun too. Is that when we sleep to wake up, or we sleep to do a lot of dream work, dream walking, astral work. But when we're running on pure ether, the carbon body doesn't need to sleep sometimes. Sometimes we're just go, go, go. And we might be going for 3 days at a time and then completely collapse for a couple of days. And that's normal. And that's a part of embodying our higher self and the higher light, is that our sleep routine will wobble a lot. Honor the energetic flow in the current that you're engaged with, right? So like last night we had a lot of star codes, and we were working what's called the beehive cluster, which is funny. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, Jen. I'm in a place called Benson, Arizona. So I'm heading, I'm not fully disclosing where I'm going yet, just because of the sake of what's going on, but I'm in a place called Benson, Arizona. So it's in Southeast Arizona. Where was I? I forgot where I was. Quantum now. That one moved out really quickly. And so yes, so much energy of it should be fun too. Thank you for mentioning that, Lauren. This has been happening for a lot of us, is a lot of people are now going back into, I was talking to Samantha about this yesterday, because she's being called back into music. And sorry, Sam, if you see this, not trying to speak on your your stuff, but it's a good example of what's occurring, is that some people are being guided into old passions, right? So whether it be music or art or play, it assists us in getting out of the day-to-day mundane linearity of work. Because a lot of us, especially in having a new earth creation or new earth business or any form of creation or business, what can happen is that we can get locked into the linearity of that schedule, the scheduling of videos or scheduling of certain things, and it blocks the quantum reality for showing up for us, and it can start to get more draining and exhausting on the field and on our creations. So there's a lot of people that are shifting into fun, into play mode, because what we're doing is we're reminding how this universe wants us to be in balance. It was about, I think it was the beginning of this year, that the new trajectory said, basically the universe, Gaia had said, we're going to play all day and we're going to be able to get paid for doing that. We're going to be ourselves and play all day. But as a result is that there's some people that are stepping off of creations and more into their joy, so they can embody that frequency and bring that into their creations. And it's a part of balance for all of us, because this level of caregiving and this level of service doesn't have to be dreary and dreadful, and it doesn't have to be linear and crunched, right? It can be expanded and beautiful. This is what we call an organic reality. You know, the organic realities, if you've ever peered into them or lived a little bit into an organic reality, or you're fully anchored in an organic reality, is it's very expressive and open, and it's just like, oh, it's like, you know, the heavens have opened. And so as a result, that's what Gaia wants for us. That's what Source wants for us, is to be able to play all day and to be able to afford it, right? To release the pressure and the tension off of, you know, social status, social class, being able to afford things. Like the material objects are reflections of an internal condition. And a part of this shift in polarity is those people that never had anything, that are doing the work and have been shifting their belief systems, they're going to start having things. And the people that had a lot are going to have to start minimizing a little bit. It's about the balance, right? Because there's been a lot of people that are holding on to too much and aren't sharing a lot. And as a result, it's creating an imbalance, and there's service roles that we cannot fulfill until those funds get released. And so there's a whole lot of humanitarian stuff that's coming up. And we're not relying or becoming dependent upon anyone as a result of that. What we do is we just keep walking forward on our pathway. We keep seeding, we keep planting, we keep harvesting, we keep honoring. And as a result, it will show up. It's guaranteed, especially if you've gotten the download that you're supposed to do some big project and you've been grounding it in and you've been doing that work. It's going to show up, but it's really about alignment right now. Really about alignment. And so, yeah, if you're feeling that call, oh, awesome, Jed, really awesome. If you're feeling that call at all to be more artistic or creative, right? Please follow that. That's to me, I call that the Aquarian energy. And when the Aquarian gates opened up and we started, you know, on the 1221 shift, and a lot of the Aquarian energy coming forward, the Aquarian energy really wants us to step into our creations, right? Because we're accessing our intuitive capabilities. We're accessing the heart space. We're accessing the joy. And if you've ever seen a movie, there's a really good movie on Disney Plus called Soul. And with Soul, it talks about the experience of creative arts and what happens at a soul level. So there's a lot of truth in that movie. If you watch it and you're aware of soul work and how souls work and astral work and stepping into like that creative vortex, it's a really beautiful movie to show that inspiration of what occurs when we get creative, right? And a part of accessing that creator consciousness and to get those creator codes online and active is to step into our creativity, whatever form that will occur in. So whether it's arts, whether it's dance, whether it's painting, poetry. Like for me, I've been writing more poetry. It's a part of me that I put down for a long time. And it's now that we're embracing more of the feminine principality in the masculine form, right? And a lot of the men are waking up. What's occurring now is we're stepping more into that creative role, and we're allowing the feminine essence to live through us in that artistic expression. So how am I actualizing the call to creativity right now? So it depends, right? So sometimes it's playing with my Andaras, right? So sometimes I get the Andaras out and I start taking pictures of them. Sometimes for me, it's poetry, right? Like I'll write a poem. Sometimes it's coming online like this and creating a beautiful web of energy and helping people to clear things, but also to bring forward a level of revelation and truth on what's transpiring in the collective. Every now moment is a call to creativity, right? Being mindful of the thought processes, being mindful of the belief systems. What am I holding? Am I calling forward freedom? Am I judging, right? Every now moment is conscious creation. So for me, the call to creativity it's bending and flowing, and it expands and it contracts, right? And it's a lot like, I see it like making bread, you know, like letting the dough rise and then it falls a little bit, and it's a recipe. Sometimes the creativity lines too require co-creation. So I was actually just discussing this with Lo B from Untitled Tarot, is, you know, is cross-pollination, right? So sometimes to activate another level of creativity is we start to meet with others, right? And we start to network, and we start to cross code, right? And I call it cross-pollination. And it's like, how can we take this flower from the West Coast and a flower from the East Coast and get them to create something, and that creates a new flower? So actualizing creation is really dependent upon what you're called to do. And for myself, it's constantly weaving. It's recognizing, yeah, every now moment I'm creating, right? Every new moment I'm creating a new opportunity for myself, even self-talk, affirmations. Right now, I'm calling forward everything I need. Like, universe, show me the magic. My reality is filled with so much bliss and beauty and joy today that I'm just overwhelmed with excitement. And it sounds so silly, right? To like get into the self-talk narrative sometimes, and it's so basic. But those basic principles of creation assist at a great level when we're speaking to our cellular body. So if we think that we are made up of how much percentage of water, and we start to think of, who is it? Dr. Emoto's work, right? Of how he places intention in water, we notice the crystals change, right? Think that your body is made up of that same crystalline structure, and what we're speaking, breathing, eating, and every now and moment what we're saying to ourselves is affecting our crystalline body, and it's affecting our crystalline nature and the sacred geometry that we hold. And so that self-talk is conscious creation. And when I'm feeling good, right? When I'm feeling good and I'm feeling in my power and feeling loving and kind, and the reality is reflecting that, I can also begin to share that with others, whether it's in the quantum field or direct connections out in the day. And I find that before I go encounter with the day, if I'm in my bliss, if I'm in my joy, if I'm in my magic, I'm so much better to serve, because I can show up with the heart open, and I can be beautiful with everyone that I'm around. And it shifts things out really quickly. It's an important part about being a miracle worker is, no good deed goes unnoticed, right? And in the eyes of God, in the eyes of Source, in the eyes of the universe, those good deeds that happen when no one's looking, right? Those are the ones that are rewarded. And when those rewards come in, we can go in and begin to expand those out and share those more with the collective, right? So it's resolving and dissolving the judgment. It's really funny because Lauren was just talking about this the other day. I forget what it was, but it was about, the more that we gain in wealth and in abundance, some people have a judgment that they'll go into control or they'll go into selfishness and greed. But for those of us that are really beautiful givers, right? And that's what we love to do, is the more we receive, the more we give, right? And we just keep that flow and keep amplifying. And it's a part of being that transducer, right? It's important for recognizing that we are the radio antenna of the universal signal, and what are we amplifying? And as a result, when we're expanding our energy body and we're open to receiving these gifts and blessings, we can bless more out in the world, and it really is important. So yeah. So anyways, yes, Dr. Emoto, thank you, Willow, thank you. So I wanted to just pop on, say hi to everyone, talk about these few things. There's a lot, like, I look at June and July and the schedule of dates, and it's insane. Like, we're all power ongoing. Today, I heard the resurrection codes hit. Okay, so we have another wave of revelation coming in, right? What happens with revelation? Awakening, awareness, truth coming out. We know what happens. We've been going through revelation waves. Whoa, my vape just went off. There we go. Am I still on here? The Wi-Fi signal shut me down. Need to check. Do. Nice pause there. So I don't know if I'm still live. Let's see if this reloads. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we are back. Yeah, it froze. I'm on a hotel Wi-Fi, so who knows? Who knows? But right now we have a level of, and he's back. We have a level of resurrection codes that came through today. and we're calling forward a lot of freedom, and we're waking up a lot of the masculines. Okay, so as the men are waking up, some of the men, like myself, right now are going front lines, and we're doing ground crew work. And so we're working on getting more of the men online. And as a result, there's a lot of resistance to that. I'm seeing this a lot where, and it's just stuff I see on social media, like we're losing our men and we're losing our, you know, the thing is there's a beautiful energy when we get a masculine energy and a feminine energy together, whether it's in one body or in two forms in the focus of creation. And as a result, there's a lot of men that feel like they're losing their masculinity because their feminine is coming through. Let's say this. If you are in a male body, okay, which I don't have a lot of male subscribers, but if you're in a male body and you ever encounter an empowered feminine or an empowered female that's in her masculine energy, it is the most emasculating feeling ever. But it's important to clear out the male ego as a result of witnessing that archetype, right? So there's going to be resistance to this, but as a result, we're getting more of the men online because like we need it. We need not only just the men awake, but we need the purified masculine energy available for what we're creating, right? Because the feminine energy in that receptive, beautiful energy is what's great, right? It's necessary. Everyone talks about awakening the divine feminine, but when it comes to building out these structures, and I'm not speaking male form, right? We're speaking masculine energy. We need that powerful masculine energy to come forward so we could step forward. We could say no more, right? To the face of diversity. We could say no more to the programming, but we can also take that energy and begin to build out these New Earth relationships, to begin building out the New Earth partnerships, to begin building out the New Earth systems, and all of those things that we're calling forward, right? Retreat centers, you know, homeless work, building houses, caregiving roles, new charities, things like that we're all calling forward to create for ourselves. So the men are waking up, and they're going to keep waking up, but as a result, there might be some resistance to that. So for some of us, we hold our feminine energy really strong. Sometimes we balance, sometimes we pull in the power, but it's something that really has been the focus of this year. Call if you're feeling that call into the unknown. So yeah, my internet connection is unstable. That's good. So I'm just going to read these. That's awesome. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pop on and just say hi. I need to step off and go do some grid keeping and some gatekeeping tonight. But remember, there's a solstice event that I'm holding on June 21st. That is going to be planting seeds for creations. We're going to be working with the light body, working with codes. I'm going to put the link in the description box when this is done. It's up on my website on foundersoflight.org/sessions. And it's going to be a donation-based session. So I think it's like sliding scale. I've got 3 different price ranges. And I think that there's an availability to donate whatever you'd like. It's to not only support myself in this trip, because this trip is going to be very long and it's going to be quite pricey, that I'm going through, but it's also to support you guys as well. So we're going to be working on manifesting new creations we're going to be, am I okay? Yeah, I'm good. We're going to be manifesting for new creations for January, February, and March. And so if you want to come into that, the details will be in the description box, but it's on my website, foundersoflight.org/sessions. And we'll see what aligns. I'm being told of different things that I'm being called to do within the communities that I'm in and also online. So I'll update people as those things go. But I want to invite you out. And also because of the role that I'm taking on right now and what we're doing in shifting, I want to remind everyone that if you cannot afford it, please reach out to me. Right? If it feels highest aligned that you want to be a part of that solstice ceremony, let me know. We'll let you in. Right? I can let you in on the back end so we don't have to do the whole payment thing. But it assists in maintaining balance and also being able to receive the energetic gifts that I'm providing for other people as well. But as always, and what's coming forward more is that you are never without. And so if you need that assistance and you need help but you can't afford it, or that feels like money feels like a block to you, just reach out to me, right? I will never deny someone a service. Unless my higher self in my universe tells me not to, in which I'm going to honor that, right? Because I'm not going to honor a program if there's a programming active, but if my universe says it's fine, more than anything, it's just really important to reach out for assistance and reach out for help if you need it, right? So that will be You can reach me, Jen, on email. So foundersoflight@gmail.com. I'm going to be starting the next Forward Momentum tomorrow. And a little hint is I'm going west. So I'm going west. But who knows? Everything switches every now and moment. So I might be called north, I might be called east, I might be called south. Who knows? So I am, as far as I know, though, I'm heading west. Cue Cowboy by Kid Rock. That song just came through, which is really funny. So anyways, I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you to all the new subscribers, everyone that's popped over from the tarot communities. I love you all and I appreciate all the support. We're just going to keep supporting one another. We're going to keep doing our thing. I will still be selling crystals on the road too. So my Andara shop is still open online if anyone's interested in Andaras. I actually have some new ones that showed up for myself, new grid working sets. So I need to put some more online when I'm called to, but everything's still running the same. I'm just doing it from the road. So we kind of have to honor the quantum flow and the current. So things, I can't be as prompt with certain things. But it'll be available. And thank you, Willow, actually, for messaging right now, because this was the reminder. If you're on my Patreon, you're going to get into the Solstice Gateway event for free. So what I'll do is I will send out a group email or a group message to the patrons, the people that support Patreon, and you guys will get into the Solstice event for free. Just as a thank you, because it's been interesting navigating Patreon and weaving between Patreon and YouTube and kind of keeping that alive and keeping that supported. So I will definitely, I will send out a link to all of my Patreon people and you will get into the Solstice event for free. Okay. So I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you. I love you all. And let's go play. Let's go honor.